Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is GameRock UK and we are here showing off the brand new December update Winter Convergence Festival that has literally just dropped the patch notes. Amazon have just recently dropped the patch notes, literally just a few minutes ago now. We're going to go through them and see exactly what this means, and we're just going to talk a little bit about the good and the pros and cons. So it's going to be quite a long video because we're going to go through the full patch notes. But I kind of want to give you guys the full view of the update. So this update is at the time of this recording of the video, it's going to be coming out on the 16th. So it'll be coming out this at 12 p.m. UST. USD? No, UDT, sorry. Did I get that right? I'm pretty sure I did. But it's coming out tomorrow anyway, so the December the 16th, wherever you are in the world, the times will be on their Twitter. So December the 16th, this when it's going to come out. Let's have a look at the update. Now, obviously, if you played the PTR, you're going to know pretty much a lot of what's going to be in the update. But if you haven't played the PTR, then all this is going to be new to you. And also, there's going to be a bit more detail in this post. So there might not be things that you noticed in the PTR that is included. So let's go through everything bit by bit. So first off, Spotlight. So this is just like the main holiday stuff. So the holiday of the winter convergence is upon Eternum, marked by the appearance of increased snowfall and northern lights in the sky. This is the time of dichotomy. Why do they put words I can't pronounce? Like, what? And duality as the duality is the winter wanderer and winter warrior come to the land. I'm so sorry. Icy winds and winter wanderer bring with them new armors, weapons, furnishings, skins, consumables, and a delightful present given emote. Learn more about all the Winter Convergence has to offer on our Winter Convergence Festival event page, from activities such as Convergence Spirit decorations, Lost Present recovery, and Gleamite collecting, to danger-filled ice caves and festive loot. This event will bring special and limited time content to Eternum. So let's break it down. Lost Present recovery, Convergent Spirit decorations, all that, they're quests, okay? They're tasks that you do. So the Lost Present recovery is basically a quest that you have to go and find some lost presents around the world. Kind of, it is what it says on the tin, really. And the others are just Gleamite collecting. Again, it's just a quest. So these are all quests. So when it says activities, it's quests. It's quests, but they're fun quests. You know, they're different to what you're used to, kind of. Actually, are they different to what we're used to? Probably not, because they're basically just turning a chest into a present and telling you to go and find the presents instead of the chests. Yeah, but anyway, it's still fun. It's Christmas themed, right? Anyway, let's continue. The Winter Convergence Festival will last in Arturnum from December the 16th, 2021 to January the 11th, 2022. Okay, so you're only going to have a few weeks to get your winter stuff collected, guys. So if you want to take advantage of this update, you need to get in there quick, okay? Obviously, don't, if you celebrate Christmas, don't just like ditch your family to farm this on Christmas Day. You know, you can spare Christmas Day. It's fine. Anyway, ice caves are appearing all over Eternum due to the Winter Warrior's desire for forever winter. The rest of Eternum will look like these ice caves if the onslaught of the warrior is not stopped. These caves will remain behind after the event as scars on the land, sources of wintry magic that refuse to melt even if the warrior is defeated. So yeah, that's something that they did actually announce back when the PTR first went live with the 1.2 update. they announced that the ice caves that you're going to see in this winter update, they're not going to go anywhere. So after the update has dropped on January the 11th, when it gets taken away, the ice caves are going to remain. So it's going to make the world look a bit more what's the word? I like variant for more variety in the world. I think that's what I'm getting. You know what I'm getting. Anyway, Endgame update. So these are the things that a lot of people have been talking about. If you've gone on Reddit or if you've gone on Twitch, a lot of people are talking about the Endgame update that's coming. And let's just go through it. I went over it in the PTR update. We'll go through it again here for those people that don't know about it. So, based on the feedback of the high watermark system and our desire to have a compelling and diverse endgame, made some major changes to the endgame in this update. For more details on our vision and future changes coming, please see the Expertise Dev Corner article on our official forums. We've renamed the high watermark system or high watermark to Expertise and now display expertise values in the UI. Now that is a really big change. Before we get into the rest, that is a really big change. So instead of you just guessing to see what your high watermarks are, now you can have solid values on the user interface telling you what the watermark level is at. So you know exactly what your levels are before even doing your farming, which is really, really good. And everyone's been calling for that since the beginning of New World. So great change. Anyway, each slot on the character model in the inventory will now display what the current expertise level of that slot is. An average expertise value is also shown above average gear score on the inventory's character model. Players will get a level up banner whenever they increase their expertise. Again, that is a great change because before, when you got a new bit of gear, you were kind of just guessing. You're kind of just hovering your mouse and you're like, oh, that was 560. Oh, I don't think I've had a 560 before, so I think my watermark's at 560. And people were guessing. But now, with the banner for the expertise, it'll be obvious. And obviously, it'll tell you in the UI as well. So, again, great change. Can't really complain about that. We've added a new resource called Gypsum that can be acquired each day by doing a variety of activities, open world named bosses, expedition bosses, outpost rush, arenas, corrupted breaches, etc. Each activity rewards a different type of gypsum that can be crafted into a gypsum orb. These orbs can then be crafted into gypsum casts of any weapon, armor, or trinket type. Opening a gypsum cast will guarantee an expertise bump of and that gear of that type. That is big. Okay. That is massive. That a lot of people have been farming gear score because they think this change is bad. Like they think this gypsum is gonna be like hard. It's not. It's actually making the end game easier. Um, defeating level 60 plus open world named bosses typically found in elite landmarks, you get an obsidian gypsum. That's one gypsum. Sapphire Gypsum. Defeat the final bosses of the Lazarus Instrumentality or and Garden of Genesis. If you do expeditions every day, boom, that's 2 gypsums. Ruby Gypsum found in Outpost Rush caches. Boom, that's 3. Just running through Outpost Rushes till you get the. These are the dailies that you're going to be doing, guys. If you want to level up your gear score, you're going to have to farm these gypsums. Emerald Gypsum found in the trade skill aptitude reward containers. Yeah, you can now get better gear score just by doing stuff with your trade skills. Again, we'll come on to that in a bit, but amazing. And I don't just mean crafting 600 tier. I mean you can literally just go out and like farm like loads of iron ore or something like that, and you'll get like a gypsum. It's crazy. Anyway, citrine gypsum found in arena caches. Amethyst gypsum found in breach caches. Topaz Gypsum found on hostile creatures level 55 plus, but only after consuming a special attunement potion that can be crafted at a tier 5 camp. Craft the potion, drink it, and start defeating level 55 plus hostile creatures anywhere in the world to find them. This potion can only be crafted once per week. Again, that's an easy one that you're going to get. And a lot of these can be done daily. Topaz obviously can't be done daily because it says only once per week. But you could literally do these once daily, and yeah, easy. Diamond Gypsum, found only during major events in the tournament for the Winter Convergence Festival. Level 60 players can earn this rare Diamond Gypsum. The first three trees of light they interact with in settlements during the event. Easy. So everyone's going to get the Diamond Gypsum straight off the bat when this update hits, if you're level up 60 or whatever. So easy. Okay, introduced a Kiln Station in all endgame zones that allows players to craft gypsum orbs from the various types of gypsum. Tune down the general chances of getting an expertise bump to compensate for the guaranteed bumps that were added with gypsum. Elite chess odds were reduced a little, and open world bosses were reduced a lot. Expedition bosses remained the same. So what they're saying there is elite farms are still viable. Okay, they're just saying the odds are decreased. Okay, elite chest slots were reduced a little. Okay, so they're not saying that elite chests are not worth doing anymore. They're saying it a little, so you still do them. They're just gonna not be as efficient. And I think that's probably a smart move, because what Amazon are sort of saying is, go and do the other stuff. Go and do the expeditions. Go and do the outpost rushes. Go and do your trade skills. Go and do arenas. Go and do the breaches. That's what Amazon are kind of pushing you to do, is kind of do the other things as well. Don't just farm elite chests. So overall, great so far. Adjusted the potential range of an expertise increase based on the expertise level. In general, the ranges stay slightly wider for further up the progression range, which translates into less overall increased moments required to reach the cap. So on average, most people will get there with fewer bumps required. So what they're saying there is each expertise increase is based on the level, but what they're saying is when it bumps up, you're gonna get quite an increase each time it bumps up. So it may take you a little while to get the gypsums, but the jump that the expertise is gonna do is gonna make up for that. That's what they're trying to say in a roundabout way. Uh, so yeah, that's fine. Make people work for the gypsums. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Increase the rewards for expeditions. In addition to gypsum drops, each expedition boss will guarantee a random expertise bump. No arena bosses also guarantee a bump. Fixed all chests in Lazarus and Garden of Genesis so they have a chance to provide in-game expertise bumps. Added timeless shards to expeditions. See below for details. So, timeless shards, something new coming in. As for the rest of the stuff, I always thought expeditions needed better rewards. This is a good change. Can't really complain about that. At the end, you get a gypsum, which is a guaranteed watermark increase, or a expertise increase, shall I say? So you get a guaranteed increase in gear score every time you go in. Can't really complain about that. Introduced timeless shards, a new crafting ingredient that can be used to guarantee specific stats on weapons and armor. A timeless shard is a crafting artifact that enables the player to craft an item with a specific attribute bonus on it, while still being able to use the craft mod to guarantee a perk. Timeless shards are guaranteed to drop from expedition bosses and have a chance to drop from elite chests in expeditions and elite points of interest. Massive. That is big. So not only can you use a craft mod, you can also use these timeless shards on your crafted items as well. I can see timeless shards really being traded on the traded post quite a lot, if they're tradable, that is. There's no real clear indication whether they bind on pickup or bind, or whether thing, but I can see them being traded a lot on the trading post. Um, and crafters are going to be definitely trying to buy a lot of them. But it's interesting that elite runs, you get them on elite runs as well, you know? So, again, elite chest farming is still going to be big because people are going to want to farm the timeless shards. So yeah, adjusted to point of interest to become endgame content. The Malvalence elite point of interest in Eden Groves was up leveled to 66 content and now has 6 elite chests that can all provide endgame expertise bumps. The Imperial Palace and North Dynasty Shrine elite point of interest in even scale reach were up leveled to level 66 content and now have 8 elite chests that can all provide endgame expertise bumps. Again, that's a good change because it means there's more places people go to do elite runs, and it means people could do more elite runs per day as well now. You know, so great change. No complaints so far. Increase the level of endgame corrupted breaches to 66. I didn't realize there was a problem with corrupted breaches being 60. I think there was 65. They've actually made them harder now. I'm not sure why that change has taken place. I must admit, that's a change that baffles me a bit because I thought the 65 was fine, but who knows? We'll have to see what that changes. Anyway, let's continue. Made a number of adjustments in the endgame difficulty to compensate for some accidental overtuning. November patch. Our goal is to find a middle ground between endgame content being too easy before November and the overtuned HP sponges we had afterward. So there definitely was an issue where the bosses were just like super tanky, like after the November patch. Um, and a lot of people were complaining. It looks like Amazon has obviously realized that they did some things a little bit wrong and they've adjusted them. So, Murkguard difficulty adjustments, reduced the difficulty of corrupted acolytes, cooks, priests, ogres, and commanders. Added elite chest to Upper Harrow in Murkguard near the named commander Arcos. Imperator. Imperator. Even scale reach adjustments, reduce the difficulty variety of named AI in the open world, including alligators, boars, bears, and withered grunts. Imperial Palace North Shrine difficulty adjustments, reduced the difficulty of named bear, corrupted tigers, dynasty spearmen, dynasty summoners, and dynasty warriors. I won't read all these out because they're just difficulty adjustments, but you got Daisy the Dancing Bear being relocated. They've renamed and moved the Morgulf. The Forbidden Ritual point of interest has been discontinued and replaced with a fast travel option. Several elite chests were moved into the final boss encounters of Imperial Palace and North Palace Shrine. Scorpion difficulty adjustments. Deadman Cove's point of interest reduced the difficulty of the name Ghost. Reduced the difficulty of a lot of point of interest. Prairieville, Bengal Heights, Eridanus, Caminus, Davidistan, Eternal Pool. They've reduced a lot. So they've made these ones easier, basically, because they're not endgame ones. Anyway, let's go down to the ones. So improvements to added to the main story quest. Destiny Unearthed has received a soloable option. The nose has improved level design and new tasks associated with actually acquiring the ingredients for bear talent. Triumphant Return now requires players to extinguish fires in Fort Alizar before rescuing Rima. Added supplemental territory quests. 16 new quests added to Morningdale. 13 new quests added to Restless Shore. Now that's really good because a lot of people are complaining that of the level gaps when you hit level 40, that there was a bit of a break we can get to 40 to 60, and it was really hard for players to kind of fill that gap. And a lot of people didn't like to do the town quests, the town board quests, or the faction quests, and they sort of were stuck in this like rut that they couldn't do the main quest. But at the same time, um, they didn't want to do their other activities, and a lot of players did actually leave New World because they didn't actually have any quests to do, or they couldn't do. So this is a big change because it means it will give players more quests to do to bridge that XP gap. So that's really good. New housing quests, 7 new quests added that are unlocked as players progress in their territory standing. These quests allow players to assist an idealistic architect as he undertakes a bold mission to construct new houses out in the wilds of Aeternum. The architect will extol the virtue of home ownership and reward players with new furniture and decor. That's pretty good. I'll probably do that myself just to get them in my house. Seek a Geo Como Alto Voli in the settlement in First Light Everfall, Monarch's Bluff, or Windswood to get started. Completion of encroaching corruption required. Notable fixes added more info to tell players that PvP faction mission player kills don't reset on death. Fixed an issue where killing corrupted tendril AI did not progress the Adiana's Fountain quest. Removed any elite quest prerequisites for level 40 weapons and armor quests. Added better displays for the Spirit Shrine icons on the map, like other point of interest in the world. Quest marker for Visions of Invaders is now shown on the map. Fixed an issue where certain Morningdale NPCs didn't have map markers for quest acceptance and turn-ins. Fixed an issue with players farming Captain Thorpe after clipping through Murkgard Cathedral. Fixed an issue where players were able to clip through the walls of attacker war camps. Okay, so first, so now we go on to the combat, guys. I'm gonna take a sip of water, guys, because these are a lot of notes. All right, let's continue. Okay, combat. Due to an issue in our initial PvP damage formula that caused lower gear to be more beneficial in damage mitigation, we have updated our formula. We look forward to hearing your feedback on these changes. PvP damage formula update. Adjusted the way armor mitigation was calculated to use enemy's gear score value instead of your average gear score. To adjust for the difference in armor mitigation, we increased the damage low level players do to high level players and reduced the damage that high level players do to low level players. So that's going to help with like duels and things like that, because and it also will help with Outpost Rush as well. No, it won't. Yes, it will, because gear score will affect it. So it means if you come into Outpost Rush as a gear score level 500 and you're up against someone with an average gear score of 580 plus, you're gonna not feel at a disadvantage. So that's a really important thing, I feel. And it will also help with duels and things like that if you guys do duels. I don't really do dueling, but crit damage application, crit damage bonuses for masteries or perks are now applied additively instead of multiplicatively on average. This will reduce the extra damage they provide by 3 to 5%. I hate these big words that Amazon are putting in here. I've only got a small brain. Buffer windows. A general consistency pass has been done across all weapons to adjust the buffering windows for dodges, abilities, and basic attacks. The updated buffer window starts on the first frame of the attack that would deal damage, or on the first casting frame in the case of abilities that do not deal damage. Dodge. Fixed any issue where you could repeatedly dodge while in the exhausted state if you weren't pressing any directional inputs. Abilities which previously only prevented dodging, such as Ice Shower, has been updated so they now also prevent jumping. Okay. Navigation. Crouch and prone can no longer be toggled while holding the block button. Fixed an issue where traversing with auto run and auto traverse had a slight movement pause. Fixed an issue where character leg animations were sheathing staff weapons. Fixed an issue causing weapons to sometimes not equip properly when players quickly switch between crouch, stand, into prone. Fixed an issue where players could clip through outcropping collision by using certain abilities while prone. Fixed an issue where players could desync their unsheathed weapon by repeatedly using prone and dodge commands. Alright. Perks. Accelerate gem perk. Updated description to clarify that the damage bonus applies when the gem owner's health is below the specified percentage rather than their target. Retaliate. Updated description to clarify that the effect provided by this perk only lasts a specific number of hits. Added a status effect icon that will appear while the effect is active. Also increased the number of hits players can perform while Retaliate is active from 1 to 3. King Berserk. Placed an issue with a perk tooltip was displaying inaccurate HP percentages. Additional perks added. Login efficiency, login speed increased by 5 to 25. Mining efficiency, mining speed increased 5 to 25. So these are extra perks, guys, that you can potentially get on your pickaxe or login axe or inner knife or your sickle. So you can increase the harvesting speed. That's pretty cool. I still think the three best perks is Azoth Extraction, Mining Luck, and Mining Yield, or like Yield, Luck, and Azoth Extraction. I still think those three are the best, but Speed might be kind of good if you wanted to sacrifice Azoth Extraction. You could have Luck, Yield, Speed. That would also be a viable perk thing to take, but it's still a great thing to have. An option to get is efficiency. Um, you know, so yeah. Played critical strikes against targets below 50% health inflict these for 6 seconds, reducing the healing effectiveness of the target by 10 to 25%. Plague strikes heavy attack against targets inflict disease for 8 seconds, reducing the healing effectiveness on the target by 10 to 25%. That's a big. Plagued crits and plague strikes are big. If you're a melee DPS, you're going to want to get plague crits or plague strikes. Because that is big. Reducing the healing effectiveness as well as inflicting disease, that's big. Yeah, that's a good perk. Thwarting counter deal 5 to 15 additional damage against targets with active grit, melee weapons only. Thwarting strikes deal 3 to 12% additional damage while you have active grit. Prevention strike, fully charged heavy attacks deal 3 to 15% additional damage. Melee weapons only. Trenchant crits, fully charged heavy attacks deal 5 to 20% additional crit damage. Trenchant rend, fully charged heavy attacks apply rend for 7 seconds, reducing target's absorption by 4 to 15%, 12-second cooldown. Trenchant recovery, fully charged heavy attacks heals the player for 10 to 30% of the damage dealt. Physical aversion, take 2 to 4% less damage from ranged physical light and heavy attacks. Elemental aversion, you take 2 to 4 less damage from ranged elemental, light, and heavy attacks. So these would be more for tanks. They're more tanking ones. All melee DPSs can also take advantage of the aversion ones as well. Because you're gonna want to have some sort of resistance. Okay, let's move on. Outpost Rush. Initial spawn areas now have barriers preventing enemies from entering. That is so good. How many times have you been in Outpost Rush and you've been spawn camped? Is the other team have rushed to your spawn? You guys are your team's respawning and they've pinned you back in the spawn point. I tell you what, I've had it happen to me a few times. It doesn't make the experience very fun. That change is a good change. Well done. Fix the crash that could occur when exiting Outpost Rush. Using the consumable will now cancel aiming. Weapon mastery descriptions adjusted some naming conventions, fixed multiple grammatical errors in our descriptions, fixed an issue where players could drop 0 mana. Low 0 mana. I've never seen that, but didn't even know that was a thing. Anyway, weapons. Now this is where people might question some things that are going on. Rapier. Tondo fixed the typo in the description. Flesh updated how this ability interacts with gravity to prevent it from being used to traverse up steep inclines. Heavy attack, slightly reduced recovery time. Swiftness fixed an issue with a haste granted by the passive ability was applying at a shortened duration with each use. Fire Staff. Burnout updated how this ability interacts with gravity to prevent it from being used to traverse up steep inclines. Meteor Shower fixed an issue that allowed this skill to deal damage to targets even though fort gates and war camp even through fort gates and war camp gates. Watch It Burn fixed an issue that prevented this passive ability from functioning. Okay. So no nerfs for fire staffs then. They're just sort of common sense ones really. Warhammer Charge updated how this ability interacts with gravity to prevent it from being used to traverse up steep inclines. Path of Destiny reduced hit stun from 1 to 0.33 seconds. Okay, so they've reduced the stun. Okay, so Warhammer taking a slight nerf there. Bow Rain of Arrows fixed an issue that allowed this skill to deal damage to targets through forts and gates and warcamp gates. Leading effect from Rain of Arrows can no longer be stacked by multiple players using the ability on the same target. This change was made to keep the ability consistent with other AoE skills that could be stacked on top of each other. Penetrating Shot Blood-Soaked Arrow fixed an issue that caused this upgrade to increase damage with each hit instead of after each hit. Surprise Attack updated description of this passive ability to specify that its effect is per target. Improved all aim downsides transitions between abilities to primary shot. This also addresses an issue that prevented penetrating shot and poison shot from being cancelled after exiting the shots. Mark upgrades fixed an issue where the damage increase would not cap. It would now cap at 30% damage increased enemy. Damage increase against enemy with debuff. Okay, bit of a buff for bows then, really. Slightly nerf as well. It's kind of like a balance of buff as well. Hatchet aim throw increased recovery before being able to cancel out from the first 0.1 seconds of the attack to first 0.545 seconds of the attack. Heavy attack reduced recovery time by 0.15 seconds. Musket fixed an issue where the musket would reload slower when stamina was depleted. Fixed an issue where the player's back warped unnaturally while sheathing the musket in the prone position. Fixed an issue where the shoot animation could be skipped while unintentionally increased the musket's rate of fire. Fixed an issue that caused the musket charge shots not to be expended while firing from the crouched position. Okay, so musket, some fixes there. Hatchet was just light, but not too much to really affect the hatchet there. Life Staff, Splash of Light, Purify, updated the description to specify that the target must be healed for debuffs to be removed. Beacon fixed an issue where the healing buff would be persistent on the caster after leaving the circle. The slight nerf there for the healers, but to be quite honest, like it kind of makes sense those changes. I don't think it's going to affect the healers too much. That change. I know healers are not really happy with changes that have happened to healers, but I don't think that particular change is a bad one. That's just common sense. You leave the circle, your healer buff is gonna go. You know, kind of common sense. Anyway, Ice Gauntlet. Ice Pylon. Pylon Dodge. Updated tooltip to better describe the functionality. Ultimate Chill. Updated Ultimate Chill status bar. Debuff tooltip to be consistent with the Weapon Mastery tooltip. Fixed an issue that caused Ultimate Chill status effect icon to appear to stack. Lock-in Stamina. Fixed an issue that allowed this passive ability to give stamina when the player was out of mana. Heavy Freeze dated the description to be more accurately describe the cooldown. Ice Tomb increased the Ice Tomb health from 50% to 75% of the caster's health. Intoned Burst reduced mana cost from 20 to 10 mana. So Ice Gauntlets have got a little bit of a buff there, which is good because Ice Gauntlets I feel have not as strong as they will seem. Sword and Shield, heavy attack, reduce recovery time by 0.15 seconds. Great Axe, Enduring Strike, the grit window for attacks empowers by this passive ability by consistency pass to make sure that they only last until the end of the strike windows. Bloodlust, updated description to clarify the correct effective range of 15 meters. Light attacks are non-fully charged heavy attack, reduced home and range protection, from 4.5 meters to 3.5 meters. Basic crit damage reduced from 40 to 30%. Bloodlust, 8 bonus reduced from 30 to 20%. Reap damage on initial pull reduced from 110% weapon damage to 70% weapon damage. Great Axe has got the nerf. I think we all saw this coming though. A lot of people complained about the Great Axe, and we all sort of saw the Great Axe was going to get a nerf. Yeah, I don't think anyone can have any complaints. From what I've understood, the Great Axe is still really, really good. It still is one of the. It still is the meta, one of the meta like builds, the weapon builds to use. Um, it honestly, though it looks like it's got a hard nerf, it's still going to be strong and it's still going to be used a lot in PvP. So if you're using the Great Axe, you shouldn't be concerned by that. It's not going to make it weak. Still going to be effective. Void Gauntlet, Putrefying Screamberg. Reduce the max percentage it should scale up to from 50% to 30%. Void Caller, fixed an issue where Void Caller passive could trigger with regular basic attacks. Fixed an issue where the Void Caller cooldown would reset when swapping weapons. Glimpse of the Void, fixed an issue where the Glimpse of the Void cooldown would reset when swapping weapons. Orb of Decay, Detonating Orb, fixed an issue where Detonating Orb could trigger backstab. Okay, so just some fixes. Slight nerf for the Scream perk there, but it's fine. I think Void Gauntlet is still very viable. Yeah, Void Gauntlet is great. Anyway, Spear, increase hit shape size and attack homing on all thrust attacks. Skewer, increase lunge distance by 50%. Perforate, increase rotation speed during the ability. Strong conditioning, fixed an issue where the strong conditioning buff could be cancelled by using the honing stone. Strong conditioning no longer shows text pop up when triggered. AI. These are just AI fixes. We're not going to go through the AI fixes. It's just animation fixes and things like that. Remove the gravity vortex ability from Outpost Rush, Corrupted Ogre. We'll just read out some key ones, really. Spring Stag has cleaned up his diet and will no longer drop motes while it moves. Damn it. Didn't even know I did that. Expedition AI, so it's just some fixes on the AI. Again, we're not going to go through all these fixes. You know, it's just going to be animation fixes mainly. So now we move on to the trade skill Aptitude. So let's have a look at that. So we want to continue rewarding the efforts you make, craft items for yourself, your friends, or to make some coin on the trading post. So we've introduced trade skill Aptitude. Upon reaching level 200 in a trade skill, the leveling circle in the UI will update to show 3 markers equidistant from each other on the circle. Each trading skill XP will begin progressing you again, and when you reach one of those markers, you'll be awarded with a container of useful items that are most likely trade skill relevant, such as craft mods, special ingredients, and even schematics and recipes. Each subsequent marker awards a more spectacular container with more rewards than the one before. Hold on a sec, another drink. Okay. Gaining enough XP to go all the way around the circle will increment the aptitude counter by 1. This counter will keep counting, so you can keep track of how many times you've wrapped your progression around the top level. We've also introduced a new type of reward with this system, equipment patterns. Equipment patterns are crafted artifacts that enable you to craft a guaranteed gear score of 600 item that has a specific appearance. Patterns require a significant amount of powerful crafting resources to create, but guarantee a gear score of 600 item. Patterns still roll perks, and players have the normal amount of control of the outcome with craft mods as of. Equipment patterns have a small chance to drop from arcana, weaponsmithing, armoring, and engineering aptitude reward caches. That's really good. What they're saying is every time you level up your trade skill to the 3 little dots, you're going to get a cache. In those cache, there's a chance that you're going to get a equipment pattern. That is a guaranteed gear score of 600. That's big. Because it means like you could just be you could just be crafting away or gathering. And well, though these aren't the gathering ones, though. These are arcana things, sorry. So these are the crafted ones. If you're doing arcana, weaponsmithing, armoring, and engineering, you're doing lots of those and you get the caches, you're gonna get the chance to get equipment patterns, which is great. So it means when you're doing arcana, you can get an equipment pattern. It may give you like a void gauntlet pattern, stuff like that. So that's really good. Added refining recipes that let you refine 250 of a tier 5 raw ore, wood, fiber, or rawhide into one legendary material. For instance, you can now convert 250 orichalcum ore into 1 tolvium. Wow. The price of orichalcum ore is going to go up. Tolvium's probably going to come down. But that's huge. It's a good job I got 7k orichalcum stashed away. Orichalcum ingots can now be crafted with platinum as well as star metal. Again, that's a good change. That's good. Good. Big change. Good change. Loot. There are a number of knights in the game that have valuable named items from level 20 to 25 players. Seek them out and take their treasures from them. The gash named ring previously had the incorrect gem slotted into it. A weapon gem. It now correctly has an armor gem in it. Added tier 5 amulet, ring, earring drops that randomly roll all stats and gear score to 60 plus content. Previously, there were only named trinkets dropping at this tier, so this should accelerate trinket expertise as well. Yeah, so that's really, really good. So now, instead of never getting any jewelry from any drops ever, because I've never actually got a jewelry drop at level 60. So it means an elite chest and in-game content, you now and in-game caches, sorry, you will now have a chance to get jewelry, which is good because it means we can start putting up the expertise and everyone's happy. Faction shields no longer have a damage perk on them. Enchanted round shields now have a refreshing ward. Cut shields have keenly fortified, and tower shields have now hated. The Moonless Night Void Gauntlet was renamed to Wine Dark Night. Wine Dark Night. I preferred Moonless Night. Okay. The primordial weapon set was previously missing the Tower Shield and Ice Gauntlet. These have been added and drop from the same activities as the other primordial weapons. Boots of Channeled Energy previously had an incorrect perk. Siphoning, this perk is only available on weapons that and has been swapped out for Afflicted. The Unhallowed Soul of Murkgard, named AI erroneously, did not have any drops. It now drops 3 named items: a spear, a life staff, and an amulet. More feminine armor appearances have been added to the game as world drop. That's good. I know a lot of people that I know that are female or play female characters um did want more feminine armor to wear. So this change here is a good one. Um that's really really good. So far guys, I think this update is really good. We removed corrupted shards. We've removed corrupted shards and lodestone as required ingredients to craft arena keys and added 5 rune stones. We did this to make arena keys not compete for the same resources as expedition keys. Okay, that makes sense. Fishing, mad tome fish now breaks into mad tome toxins, which can be used in alchemy with a chance of fish oil on breakdown. Number of fish armor items are now eligible to be bought and sold on the trading post. These are all items that a player could potentially not get during fishing quests, as the reward boxes sometimes roll one piece out of 2 or 3 at random. This update ensures that all players have access to all pieces of armor to complete every set if they wish. Notable bug fixes, sorry. The token and coin cost of the tier 2 faction health and mana potions for Syndicate now match the other factions. 50 and 30 tokens respectively instead of 100. Wait, we were getting scammed as Syndicate? Wow. Okay. Thanks for that, Amazon. War previously did not drop a War Void Gauntlet. A Void Gauntlet has been added in as a possible reward. Fixed an issue that was causing Void Gauntlets to not naturally roll their ability specific bonuses when dropped and crafted. Fixed an issue was chests in Lazarus Instrumentality and Garden of Genesis to not respect the gear skill value of the edition. Fixed an issue that was causing the Outpost Rush of game overview to display 0 for all assists. Fixed a display issue with Outpost Rush compass ink icons that caused them to disappear, which could also address some other compass related issues. It fixed an issue causing trading post purchase taxes to go to the settlement at which an item was listed for sale instead of the settlement where it was purchased. Oh, so that's interesting. So I thought where you listed the item is who gets the tax, but it's not. It's where it's purchased. That's that's strange. I didn't know that was the thing. I thought it was where it was listed. Interesting. Okay, fixed an issue that was causing the nothingness void gauntlet to require eternal ice instead of a empty heart to be crafted. Fixed an issue preventing forms of tallow from being used as a crafting mod when crafting items. The relevant perks are accuracy, mortal refreshment, and refreshing toast. All right. Yeah, that's very interesting, that one. I honestly didn't realize the taxes, that's how the taxes work. I thought it was where you listed it. But I guess that clarifies that. Some UI fixes here, guys. We're not going to go through them all because this video is already nearly an hour. So there's some UI fixes, loading screen, prove the logic of the Assault cap warning that occurs at certain thresholds to avoid notification spam. That's big. Um, else we flag up on the video. Um, added better support for multi-monitor setups. Um, Winter Convergence. Each day, the first 3 interactions with the Tree of Light and Settlement will grant presents. They will also grant a lockbox with a gift of appreciation for participating in the festivities. Daily interactions with the Tree of Light have the rare chance to drop event weapon and armor patterns as rewards. As with any openable container, luck doesn't apply here. That's good. So we need to log on every day and use the Tree of Light. So we might have to log on Christmas Day, guys. Uh, uh again, this is just a recap, isn't it? Introduce new types of gypsum, diamond gypsum can only be found during certain major events in Eternum. We've already read that. Reduce the cost crafting Gypsum Orb. We've already read this. Login efficiency. We've already done that. We've already gone over that. Fix an issue. Healing tone perk was not healing when exiting early with right mouse button. We've already gone over that above. I think they're just repeating themselves, honestly. Loads of bug fixes here, guys. I won't go through them all, as you know, but I think you can see the roundup there. I'd say you can find this post on the New World updates, on the New World forums. They've just tweeted about it as well, so you can go on there and get the direct link to it. I think this is a great update. Hope you guys enjoy it. Any feedback, guys, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, enjoy the update, guys. Enjoy the winter stuff. Get farming. Get your gear scores up, or your expertise up. Get your gear score up. I think overall it's a brilliant update. There's one or two things that sort of is a bit like, was that really an issue? But overall, I think it's a big, massive, great update. So yeah, enjoy the update, guys. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.